the show, we talked about an increase in the use of weight loss drugs, but medications like Ozempic aren't the only option. Thousands of Americans seek out bariatric surgery every year.
We're learning more about the operation during today's Health Talk. I am here with Dr. Anita Courcoulas, the Chief of Minimally Invasive Bariatric and General Surgery at UPMC. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me today.
So I am actually a patient of bariatric surgery. I had the lap band done in 2008, but for someone who doesn't know about bariatric surgery, what is it?
Bariatric surgery is a term used to describe procedures that induce weight loss and metabolic changes. And what I mean by metabolic changes are improvements in diabetes, cholesterol, sleep apnea, and other health conditions.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how do you know if you're a prime candidate for this? Is it just your weight, or is it a series of things that you need to qualify for?
So it's kind of a multidisciplinary decision for bariatric surgery. We first look at someone's body mass index, which is their height and weight combined into a number, and then we classify them class 1, class 2, and class 3. People with a body mass index 35, 40, and up, so carrying about 80 to 100 extra pounds, are class 2 and 3 obesity. They would be candidates for weight loss surgery for weight loss as a primary goal. Okay. And then people with class 1 obesity, body mass index between 30 and 35, if they have type 2 diabetes that's uncontrolled or very difficult to control with non-surgical means, they could be a candidate for bariatric surgery. And in that instance, we call it metabolic surgery because the primary goal there is to treat the diabetes.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
And there are many different types. This isn't just, okay, you qualify, you're going to get this. What are the different types that someone could get of bariatric surgery?
So bariatric surgical procedures have actually evolved a lot in the last 20 years. So the lap band that you mentioned used to be the most common operation about 15 years ago, and now it's much less common because the weight loss results were less and there was some intolerance to the band. So the procedures have evolved such that now the two most common operations in the US and around the world are the gastric sleeve and the gastric bypass. And both of those operations affect the stomach and the intestine, and they lead to both anatomic and hormonal changes.
Wow. Oh, that's so interesting. How does it manage to do that? How does it lead to hormonal changes? I'm so interested in this.
So that's a really interesting fact. So we all think about the bariatric procedures like making your stomach smaller.
Right.
So that's the anatomic piece. But these operations also induce hormonal changes, and in fact, some of the hormonal changes that we see with this new class of medications. So they increase hormones that make you feel more full, increase satiety, and also do other changes that help improve the release of insulin.
Oh, and interesting.
I also think it's important to note that this is not an end-all cure-all. This is a lifestyle change, because when I first got my lap band, I remember getting a lot of feedback saying like, oh, that's great for the rest of your life. You'll just keep losing weight and that's what happens. Obviously it is not, but it was an incredible tool. What would you say to someone who just is relying on it for that?
So my mantra about this is that lifestyle change, changes in exercise and eating, is the foundation of all treatments for obesity. Yes. And then we escalate the therapy after that, right? You move to medications perhaps. And then surgery is really on the farther end of the spectrum. So people that have not been successful in losing the amount of weight that they need to be healthy or to improve their diabetes, then become candidates for weight loss surgery. So weight loss surgery is sort of more of a last step.
Absolutely.
So when you said, because you mentioned some of the conditions that may qualify you for this, you mentioned sleep apnea. We know a lot of people struggle with sleep apnea. Is this sleep apnea with like obesity? Combine those two, or is this sleep apnea by itself? It can help. Sleep
apnea is very common in people that have obesity. It can certainly happen in people that don't have obesity as well, but it's one of those conditions that we see as part of sort of the metabolic consequences of carrying extra weight.
I see. Okay.
So the conversation we were having earlier was about specifically semaglutides, the GLP-1 injections. Is it possible, well, tell us really the relationship between the two. Can they be taken together? Because I know that there's a lot of people like me who may have had the surgery a while ago and thought, you know, that seems, I would love to lose more weight, but I feel like I don't know if they'd be good friends.
Right. So the new class of medications, we'll call them the GLP-1 and other G hormone agents, right? It's great that we have new effective tools. Remember that the studies for their approval and usage have only been 1 or 2 years in length. So we don't know about the long-term durability of the weight loss after these drugs. That has to be studied over time. Secondly, they're costly and not covered by many insurers unless you have diabetes. And then there's been some issues with availability. Additionally, it takes a long time to know if there's long-term side effects. So we're going to have to monitor people on these drugs for a long period of time. And we have to also realize what happens when you come off the drugs, can you regain the weight? So I think that bariatric surgery and these drugs are going to coexist together, and I think that's good because we have more tools to help people. But we don't completely understand the role of these drugs before and after surgery. But I will say that before surgery, you have to stop these drugs. Any operation where you have anesthesia, these drugs can leave residual food in your stomach.
Right.
Emptying slows down. So these drugs have to be stopped before surgery. After surgery, I think in the future, these GLP-1 and their other family of medications are going to be good augmentation treatment agents for people that have plateaued too soon after weight loss surgery or people that have regained some of their weight.
It's really interesting.
And how nice is it to know that all these tools are available as
They
well?
are, yeah. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you
telling
for
us more
having
about
me.
it.
Awesome.
If you are interested in learning more about bariatric surgery and the services offered at UPMC, we'll have more information on our website at kdka.com/talkpittsburgh.